Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know which podcast I'm actually going to start, but this is Tuning into Truth. I'm going to call it episode 1 just because we're kind of restarting, refreshing, I guess you can say, um, this podcast, which is mine. You used to seeing me with Miss Angela doing Dear Universe every Monday night on these same channels. Tonight, I get to play host, and I have a very, very, very special guest. This guest is a certified grief coach, an intuitive healer, and the voice behind her own podcast, Awaken Your Soul's Journey. She has a remarkable gift for helping people navigate life's heaviest transition, turning profound loss into a pathway for deep healing, self-discovery, and transformation. You know her as Miss Angela Clement. I know her as my partner. Let's welcome her in. Love,
Hello.
Angela. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Welcome to my show.
Yeah.
This is
Tuning into truth.
Tuning into Truth. The whole idea behind tuning into truth is I love having conversations with fellow practitioners that and finding out of their journey, because my goal with these interviews is somebody listening going, oh, that kind of, I can relate to that. If you can do that, I can do that. I can walk my path. That's what I'm hoping. So, this is going to be totally different for people listening. This is going to be totally different than what you're used to if you're used to Dear Universe, or you ever listened to, um, what was it before Dear Universe?
Mini readings. Wow, whatever we called it. Yeah.
What did we call it?
Healing hearts.
Healing Hearts sessions, where we did
Mhm.
mini readings. This one's going to be different. I am going to be asking Angela a series of questions, and there's going to be a test at the end. And whether she passes or fails is up to her. No, there's not going to be a test, and I don't ask a series of questions. It is strictly, I only say that if anybody watched her podcast, Awakening Through Grief, she asked me a series of questions, and some of them were really freaking hard. I'm going to tell you, it was like, whoa, where did you come up with those? They were good. It was like, if you have a chance, go back and listen. But in this podcast, what I like to do is I'm going to take Angela way back to the very beginning. She doesn't know how far back. We didn't discuss what we were going to talk about tonight at all, did we?
No, we didn't have time.
We didn't have time. We've been too busy. So I want to take you back to the beginning. The beginning. Let's start with, who is Angela? Where did you come from? Where did you grow up? What was your upbringing like?
Let's see. So I grew up in a family. There was two of us, a brother and I. And my mom and dad, we started out living on a farm when I was first born, and then we moved to a small town called Shaunavon, Saskatchewan, which some people might remember. Haley Wickenheiser came from there. So I spent my elementary years there, and then we moved to Frontier, and I graduated in Frontier, Saskatchewan. And then I went off to university to become a teacher. And so I was over 30 years in education. I met Blaine just before I left to go to university at my graduation, and we became lifelong partners. And Blaine had a cattle ranch. He lived on a cattle ranch, and he had cow calf pairs. And so my life growing up, um, I guess I was already growing up, but my life with him was really learning so much about the land and animals, um, and it was a great place to raise 2 children. We were in a small community near Valmarie, Saskatchewan, gateway to the Grasslands National Park, and so it was a beautiful place to raise kids, small community. I became the principal there, and then one day, Blaine wasn't feeling so well, um, and long story short, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Um, and then in October of 2021, he passed away. And my whole life changed that year completely from um, no longer being a wife to retiring from my position to moving from my community to just having absolutely no idea who I was, what I was doing, or what I should do next. So that's kind of my story up until recently.
I'm going to take you back. I love that story. I just, we're so, for people who don't know, and because I kind of glazed over it, Angela and I are cohabitating partners. Cohabitating partners. There's a good word. She's my partner in life. And I love the story. It just, I know it so well because we talk about it on a regular basis. But I'm going to take you back. Growing up, I know how spirituality came into your life in a major way was after your late husband passed, and you were going through that process we call grief, and that's really how awakening through grief it kind of happened. But I'm going
Mhm.
to take you back before that. When was the first time that you knew or you felt something um, was like life was more than just living and dying?
I actually have a very vivid memory of myself walking down the sidewalk near our house in Shaunavon. So I would have been about 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling the leaves beneath my feet and smelling the air, the fall air, and just feeling really expansive in that moment and just really taking in like every sense in that moment. And it's interesting that as an adult, I remember that experience because it doesn't seem really profound when I talk about it, but it was profound. And I think, I started to wonder about things like sixth sense. Everybody talked about the sixth sense. That was a big thing back then. What is that? And I got really curious about those sorts of things. And I had a few um, visions or experiences. Um, my uncle passed away in an accident, and it was in the night. And I remember waking up in the night and knowing that something had happened, but I had no idea what had happened. But it was enough that I I, um, I was disturbed by it all. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't console myself. And there was other things, I seen, my cousins were on the ice and they were spinning in their car, and I had these visions, but I had absolutely no clue lots of times who it was, but it always turned out to be something.
So,
And
sorry, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to take you
yeah.
back to your uncle um, when you had that. You woke up. Had your uncle passed away that evening?
Yeah, he had rolled his car and died in that accident. And
Ooh.
so, um and it was
How
pretty
did
traumatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you talk like I know your parents, so I kind of know your upbringing. Parents weren't super religious folks. Mom goes to church. You
Mhm,
went to church as a little one.
mhm.
It was the
Yeah.
United Church, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, United Church. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Um, when you're how old were you when you had this awakening where you woke up and just knew something was wrong?
Um, I would have been a little older when that happened. I might have even been married when
Oh,
that
okay.
happened. But the other one, I was much, much younger,
The
when
spinning
my
on the
cousin
ice
had
is
it.
the one that.
Yeah, and I
Oh.
remember telling mom about that. I
What
remember
was,
her.
what was Mom's reaction when you told her that? And then
Um,
tell us what actually happened. You had the dream or the vision of someone spinning on the ice. Tell us what
mhm.
happened.
Um, well, my cousins, I told my mom about it, and my mom said my cousins, my cousin Jenny and John, were in not an accident, but they had in their car, they had been spinning on the ice. So it confirmed for me that something, I had seen something. And I think at that time I was okay with it. Like mom just said, "Oh, well, they had an accident." It was like no big deal, right? Like, this is what happened. But when my uncle passed, that one, I did not have any more after that. So I think that was when I shut that down. I didn't want
Scared you.
to know those things. Yeah.
It scared
Yeah.
you. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, you were probably 19, 20 when that happened. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
just
Yeah.
because you said you were married and I'm putting
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So, but through this all, um, when you were 9 and you felt those leaves beneath your feet and you just felt there was more to life, you could just feel the essence of things going through. So you're in elementary school, going through high school. What was high school like for you?
Um, Looking back now, I feel like I was different.
I was
I was
different.
I was different. I was very sensitive and I was very shy. And I when we moved to Frontier, I was in grade 9, and it was a tough move for me. Um, a lot of the kids there, I didn't I didn't connect with them well. There was a lot of young males in that class that were not very nice at that time. Um, a lot of bullying that went on in that school, and so, yeah, I don't it took me a while, like, until grade 12 to really get my feet under me after that move. It was a tough move for me.
Through that time in high school, um, I know that you were a good student.
Mhm.
You got good marks. You're smart. In school. Your grades were quite good.
Well, they were average. I wasn't I did much better when I got older in university, but yeah,
I say that, folks, because I know she has two. Is it two bachelor degrees?
2 master's degrees, but that came later.
That
Yeah,
came later in life. Yes, it
yeah,
did. I know
yeah,
it did. I'm just giving you a hard time.
yeah.
Um, when you were going through that high school, that awkward, like everybody goes through an awkward time in high school, especially when they
Mhm,
have to move in grade 10 and it's a whole new high school for them.
yeah.
What did you lean on more or most through that time? How did you get that support? We all go somewhere different. Some people, I went to drama. That was my thing. I
Mhm.
did acting and whatnot. What was your thing?
I did a lot of music. I
Yeah.
was playing the piano, I was singing, I was in the band in Shaunavon. I had a music teacher that taught me flute and voice, and yeah, I just dove into the music. And I also would and I'm just kind of remembering this now, the Gideons always gave out a Bible when we were in, like, grade 5 or 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember taking that little Bible and just flipping the page open to wherever, and I would read the words on the page and get guidance from it. And I
Sounds
think
familiar.
yeah, and I did it a lot. Like, I and now I think about, what I do with the angel cards, and it seems really similar.
Well, it's almost identical, isn't it?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you think of it, I mean, you're flipping open a book, the holy book, we'll call it for lack of a better word, and
Mhm.
you're getting intuition, guidance. You're
Yep,
pulling cards, you're getting in pretty much the same thing.
yeah,
And it was funny because I was trying to figure out where the guides were taking me with that, why I was pushing that topic. It was to bring
yeah.
that out of you. Um, we get through high school, we go to college. I'm just going to shorten this because we could talk for like 4 hours. Well, you in high school, you met Blaine, your future
Yes.
husband.
Yeah,
He,
at the
he
end of
took
high
you to
school,
grad,
yeah. Mhm.
right? He
Yeah.
was what, 1 year older than you?
He was 2 years older than me.
2 years older than
Yeah.
you. Wow. Freaking robbing the cradle, I tell you, as 18-year-old dating a 16-year-old. Whew. It's in Saskatchewan, folks. It's okay. Uh, so Blaine takes you to prom. You fall in love.
Well,
You
no, actually, I met him there.
Oh, he didn't take you to prom. I thought he took
No,
you to prom.
I never
Oh,
met
that cheap
him
bastard.
until. Well, I didn't meet him until,
Oh,
well,
okay.
I shouldn't say that. I probably met him, but we really didn't meet until graduation.
Meet till
Meet.
graduation. So you meet Blaine, you fall in love,
Mhm.
and you guys got married young. Like, how old were you when you got married?
Well, I I turned 19 on the 18th of July, and we got married on the 19th of July, so
19 years
I
old, and
was
you got
19.
childhood sweethearts, literally.
Yes,
Then you got married, then you went off and went to university.
yes.
Did
Well,
Blaine go
this
with
was
you?
1 year into university, so
Okay.
yeah.
Did Blaine go with you? Did you guys live together while you were going to university?
Um, no, but he came up and visited a lot,
Oh,
as
really? Okay.
especially
So
that 1st year. Yep.
so you were married, but no, you didn't really live together until after you graduated university.
Well, he did come up when he could.
Yeah, yeah,
It
of course.
it was kinda hard because,
Yeah.
I'm in university. I mean, he did come up and work for a certain amount of time and stay there when he could, but really, they needed him back on the ranch, so
He was a
what.
rancher. That's what they did,
Yeah. Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What a cool story. And I really wanted to delve into it because I've heard the story, but I haven't actually delved into the particulars.
Mhm.
Um, you get your college education, university education, you become a teacher.
Yep.
And how long after that did you have kids? It was pretty quick.
Um, well, I became a teacher in I would have been 22-ish,
Okay.
and I had Curtis when I was 25.
Oh, so there
So,
was 3 years in between. For some
yeah,
reason, I was thinking it was way quicker.
yeah.
Um, so you had your first baby, and he wasn't a healthy baby originally.
No, he he
What you
was
doing?
born with my computer was gonna die, and I needed to plug
Oh,
it in. Anyway,
what the
he
hell?
was he was with some disease, which is a bowel condition, and, it was I mean, it was really tough as a new mom because there was a lot of things that happened that, the doctors were saying, "Well, you're a new mom, and you just don't know," and I'm going, "No, like, there's way too long in between," and, his belly's distended and all this stuff, and they're just really not listening to me. But eventually they did get the message, and I won't go into all the gory details, but but they did get the
Thank you
message.
for sparing us the gory
Yeah.
detail.
But, yeah, it was pretty traumatic because he was very sick a lot of
He
the time.
was. I remember
Yeah,
you telling me that.
yeah.
You had kind of exhausted modern medicine. Um,
Yeah, they
they
did
weren't they
surgery.
weren't
Yeah.
helping you.
No, they did the surgery, and, afterwards, they told us to put him on a special diet, so we did all these things, but he still had lots of trouble.
Somebody somewhere suggested to you you need to go see this energy healer.
Yes,
Tell us about who that was, how it came about, because it's an interesting
yeah.
story.
Yeah, so my friend, Karen Kornfeld, she had known Roxine, previously, and actually, Roxine had helped her own daughter, um, with a kidney, I think. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to ask Karen, but I remember her saying to me, "You know what? It's worth a try." Like, she helped my daughter, so, um
Before you go any further, what was your experience with energy healers? Like, did you know about them? Did you know anything?
No, not really. The only thing I knew was that, my Auntie Vi, my mom's sister, she would do, like, dowsing with a needle and thread, and she could tell you, like, how many kids you were gonna have and if they were gonna be a boy or a girl and, that kinda stuff, and she could douse for water, do the water thing, water witching, and,
Is that what they call it? Water witching?
that's what we called it, water
Isn't that
witching.
cool? Because that's a big thing on farmland is water
Yeah,
dowsing, water witching.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so she could do all that stuff, so I knew that there was something out there, and I had read about, Sixth Sense. I keep talking about that, but that was that was a book I picked up in high school, and I was just so fascinated. That was probably the only book I read in its entirety because it was so fascinating. I won't tell my teachers that, but it yeah, that's all I knew. Like, I didn't know a lot about energy healing at that time.
Interesting. So you decide nothing else is working. I
Yeah,
gotta try something.
yeah. So, Blaine drives me 3.5 hours to Regina, and the whole while, he's not into this, and he thinks it's stupid, and he keeps saying, "I can't believe we're going to see a witch. I can't believe we're going to see a witch." He keeps saying it over and over, and we get to the door, and I mean, if you think about it, we live in a small rural town, and we're driving to the city, and that's the traumatic experience as
In itself.
yes, and finding her place was not easy, and we didn't have GPS back then, like, it was not we had a map. Anyway, we got there, and we get to the door, and she opens the door, and she says, "By the way, I'm not a witch."
Now, she hadn't we didn't have cell phones
No.
back then. You weren't texting her. It wasn't
Mm-mm.
anything that she could have known the conversation you and Blaine had going there.
Nope, nope.
What was Blaine's reaction?
Well, he said that he was trying to shut off his mind because he was scared that she was reading all his thoughts. So he was
That's
just sitting
awesome.
there trying not to think.
Like, so for people who don't know, I'm a medium as well. That's the name, Kevin the Medium. So I connect with Blaine. He's here with us, and he's like, literally, don't think, don't think. And I'm thinking, don't think, don't. That's awesome. So you take your, how old is Curtis at this point now?
He's 4.
Okay, so you take your 4-year-old son to a witch,
Yep.
as Blaine would call her, and what happens?
So she takes him and puts him on her table, and she does some, like, motions over him, and then she sits at the end of the table, and she puts her hands on his feet, and she just kind of sits with his feet and moves her hands in different positions around his feet. And she's not doing like a reflexology where she's pushing into, she's just holding his feet. And I can see him wiggling and squirming and wiggling and squirming. But it's not like he's uncomfortable. He's he's not trying to get off the table, or he's not complaining about it. He's just squirming. But anyways, she talks to us as she's doing it, and she's explaining what a metaphysical healer does, and she's explaining how energy works, and giving us, the lowdown on all the things that we don't know. So we walk away from there. Um, I'm hopeful because I don't know what else is gonna help him, and so I'm just hoping and praying that this is gonna work. And Blaine is like, I don't think he believed that any of that was gonna help, but
What a waste of time that was. Sorry, he's making me ask this. Do you remember how much it costs to take him there?
She wasn't real expensive.
No.
No, she didn't charge a lot, like, I think $30 or something, like, it wasn't a
It's funny
lot.
because he's like, he's putting 30 into my head, and I'm
Yeah,
like, seriously? That,
yeah, she didn't charge a lot.
and Blaine's saying, what a waste of $30. The miser.
Yeah.
So you go home. What happens now?
So what she did was she would phone Curtis in between appointments. So I don't know what I know she said we needed to have at least 3 appointments because that was what she she just I don't know, 3, the number
Yeah.
3. She needed 3 appointments. And so, she would phone in between appointments, and she would talk to him and just kind of refresh energy. Um, Maybe she did some clearing, I don't
So
know.
you would actually hold the house phone up to your
Yes,
4-year-old son's
yes,
ear.
yes, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and she would talk to him or whatever. Yeah, it's so bizarre now when I think about that because it just seems like, a lifetime ago, and I don't remember all of the details except, yeah, I remember the phone calls.
So you go for 3 sessions.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate outcome?
Well, it was kind of I mean, before I say what actually happened, I mean, I'm sure people can guess, but the she did tarot cards as well, and I remember going up there. I don't know if it was the 2nd time or the 3rd time we went to see her, she pulled tarot cards, and she gave us a reading, and I think she did it to help us understand or maybe get a sense of the fact that this was real.
Yeah.
Um, and so she told us things that she could never have known. Like, we had lost a credit card, and we didn't know where it was. And she told us that, "You've lost a credit card, and it's in a box somewhere, or it's in" like, she told us. She also told me that I had, a Native American artifact in my bedroom from a colleague that I worked with at work, and it was, a dream catcher that one of the other teachers had given me. Like, it was things like that that she told us that were so specific and so detailed, and so we went away from there with a lot more faith in what was happening, and Curtis just got better. Just
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 got
got better.
better.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back to the Western medicine doctor and say, "Can you explain this?"
No, you know what? We loved our pediatrician so much. And he was a sweet doctor. He was my pediatrician, if you can imagine. Um, and he always bragged me up because I made these cool, jam recipes to put on toast that had a lot of fiber and whatever, blah, 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 and he always thought I was a wonderful mom.
So you didn't
I
want to piss him off.
I didn't go back and say, yeah.
But is it fair to say that's when spirituality became a thing for you?
Yeah, yeah, and I did spend, after all of that, she had come to Val Marie and did weekend workshops and worked with some members in our family, in Blaine's family, and did some remarkable things. Um, and then I went and worked with her for one day session.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I went and spent a
Interesting.
day with her, and she taught me what everything I knew. Like, everything I know now, she basically taught me in a day.
She was the start.
She's Yeah, and she activated something in me to be able to do the healing myself. And yeah, I
Now you
practiced.
you tell me quite often about how you would pull cards every evening when Blaine was still alive, long before he was diagnosed.
Yeah.
Um, I know Blaine used to make fun of it, but you knew deep down that he got it. He had to have gotten it.
Yeah, because he was so interested. When I
Mhm.
pulled the cards at night, he wanted to know what I pulled. So,
Yeah.
obviously,
Well,
he was
and
into it.
going through the experience that you both went through as new parents, um, with a very sick child and modern medicine just not being able to help this child, you
Mhm.
go for three, folks, three healing sessions with a metaphysical healer. And her words, not mine, Curtis just got better.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's got to change anybody's perspective on, okay, there's got to be something here. This has to be a thing. Besides the fact she knew he called her a witch.
Yeah. Yeah. And she did say to me, "You can do this. You can do what I do." She also told Blaine he can't do what I do.
Don't even try.
"Don't even try." That's what she said. "Don't even try."
That's what he said. Don't even try. That's hilarious. Oh my. Folks, you're seeing something special happening here because not only am I interviewing Angela, I'm also interviewing Bladen behind the scenes. And I'm telling you, he's the one saying, I would have to be a complete idiot not to understand that something magical happened here. We took a sick child to somebody who went, "Bleh," and he got better. There was obviously that blah was magic. We can
Yeah.
call it whatever we want. Something different than modern medicine happened. I'm going to fast forward you because you talked about having two kids. You had Whitney is your daughter who we love dearly
Yes, we do.
because we were just talking in half hour about Curtis, so I had to make
Curtis, yeah, I know.
we love
He'd
Whitney
be
too.
horrified too that we're telling everybody about this, but that's okay.
Yes, he had poop problems.
Yeah.
It always goes back to poo. Anyway, that was Blaine, not me.
Well, it does because their nickname was Pooper, but anyway.
Well, that's
Pooper and Little Poop.
hilarious. He was
I
waiting.
didn't need to share that either.
Oh my. So fast forwarding, um, Blaine not feeling well, he goes to the doctor. You're actually at school at this point. Like you're in school. You're the principal of Val Murray School.
Yeah.
And he calls you when he gets out of the um, doctor and tells you.
Well, actually, he put me on speakerphone during the
Right.
doctor visit. Yeah.
Okay. Explain that, how that explain it. What those words, because most of us have never had to deal with you have cancer and it's terminal. Whew,
Yeah.
talk about going from funny to being serious.
Yeah. No, and I mean, at the time, I remember exactly where I was standing. I remember, the paper I was writing on, like, I remember everything vividly and listening to that doctor and thinking to myself, "This can't possibly be what she's talking about." Like, he has a hernia or he has
They mixed up
something
the
for
file.
yeah, like, this can't be, and I'm writing down what she's saying, but it's not really registering, and I remember, her asking, like, "Do you have any questions?" And I'm like, "No." Like, "No. I've got nothing." Like, "What the hell?"
So, and this is, you're literally at school in Val Marie.
Mhm.
Blaine is in Swift Current.
Yeah.
He drives home.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking when he's driving home?
Yeah, where we could, because there's not a lot of service in between Swift Current and home, so it was sporadic, like, he I talked to him for the first maybe half hour on the way home, and then as you get south of Cadillac, then, you get less and less service, and so, yeah.
So we go through this 10 months of not a fun time, obviously, but
Oh,
you decided you were going to, because this metaphysical healer helped your son, you were going to learn energy healing at that point.
yeah, and I mean, before that, I had just dabbled in it a little bit, practiced on friends, family, read some books, but not really got serious about it, but, yeah, when he got sick, it was like, "Okay, now it's go time. We need to learn how to do this," and I did enlist 2 energy healers to work with him as well.
Right.
Yeah.
He was quite receptive to that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Now he doesn't think he's going to see a witch anymore.
No.
His words, not mine. um, a lot of people will say, well, it didn't freaking help.
Mhm.
He tells me different. Um, not everything is as black and white as we see it. He's asking you because you're going to be able to explain this better. How did energy healing help Blaine through those 10 months?
Well, I think there was a spiritual transformation that was taking place during that time, and they were helping him with that. And also, they were helping him with the pain. And I
Yes.
remember Roxine talking to me about that. I remember her she said she had a cancer patient that came to see her, and she said, "I know I can't help him. I know that this isn't going to cure him or heal him, but it helps his pain." I remember her telling me that. So weird. Why would
Yeah.
I remember that? But that's what I remembered when Blaine was getting this help too, is that this was making a difference in the pain level to the point of which he didn't take anything more than a Tylenol or an Advil until the last 2 days.
That alone, and that's where he wanted you to really expand on, was because a lot of people will go, well, your freaking energy healing didn't freaking work for that, did it? Well, yeah, it
Yeah.
did. It did it what it was supposed to do. Um, unfortunately, you lose Blaine. That was in 2021.
21.
And your life changed, to say the least. You went from being a teacher, um, loving wife of 30 plus years,
Mhm.
to living in a different city in Maple Creek because you guys moved in that 10 months so you'd be closer to the hospital.
Yep.
Explain now, um, your journey from there. Like, how did you transition from being the, I'm going to use the word victim, and it's probably the wrong word, wrong verbiage, to who you are now?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a little piece of me that was hoping that I wasn't going to feel so awful forever. But I also knew that it felt terrible. And I really didn't know how anyone could change how I felt because as long as he was gone, I was going to be missing him.
Well, of
And
course.
there to me I couldn't see a way out of that. Like how could you feel better? You're going to miss him forever because he's gone and you're going to feel awful. It's going to be bad. And but there was a little piece of me that thought, "No, that can't be right. You can't live the rest of your life that way. You just that's not right. Like if that's the case, then I may as well check out now because I don't want to do that."
But you literally had people saying, "Oh, you just learn to live with it. You're never going to feel better. You just
Yeah.
learn to live with it."
Yeah. Yeah, you learn to carry it. Um it gets easier. You never stop grieving. Oh, yeah, I heard it all. And from people who were, 21 years, 21 years without their spouse, and they're saying, "I feel the same way as I did the day he died." Like, holy, that's a long time to be devastated.
So you, being you, decided, and when I say that, you being you, the teacher in you thought, no, there's got to be something better than
Mhm.
feeling like this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping. If there is, I was gonna find it.
So what did you, where did you reach out to? What was your path to where you are now, I guess?
Well, I really started, like, even when he was sick, I started doing a lot of getting online and doing some spiritual exploration, I'll say, and trying to figure out, if there's a way through spiritually, like, would my faith help? Would God help? Would the angels help? Would somebody help? And I my connection to spirit was so much stronger in that time. I remember just waking up one morning and hearing clear as a bell, read the New Earth and a conversation with Rita. Those two things, like clear as a bell, I could hear it. And it was like, okay, I got the book, The New Earth. And I read it. And I read it while Blaine was sick. I read a lot of it. And a lot of it was really hard to hear and understand until after he passed. And then it started to make more sense. But that is a book that really transformed the way I think about life and life here on earth.
Right.
Yeah.
So Blaine passes away. Everything you knew is stripped away from you. You've
Mhm.
read a book. You've kind of got a new realization on life, but you're still feeling like shit, to
Oh,
be blunt.
yeah. Yeah. And I went to a lot of summits and I listened to a lot of people and I signed up for whatever free energy healing I could get myself into and I tried all kinds of things and I remember I was out at mom and dad's at Christmas time and I just felt awful. And I just knew that it wasn't getting better. In fact, it was probably getting worse.
And now this is the first Christmas. He
This is the
passes away
first
in
Christmas.
October,
Yeah.
and this is now December of 2021.
Yeah, I had gone for Christmas with Blaine's family, and then I went out to my mom and dad's afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, and it was while I was there that I was scrolling through Facebook, again, looking for something. And I did have a little inkling before that because I had read an article from a fellow by the name of Sean Dobson. I don't know, I can't remember his name right now, I don't know why it comes back, but he had said something about a life number 2 that kinda twigged in my mind, like he could build a new life, start a new life, and it was a life of joy and fulfillment and happiness, and I'm thinking, "Okay, that's what I want, but how am I gonna get that?" Right? And so, it was a Facebook page, and there was a quote, and it said, "Some say you will grieve for a lifetime. I choose otherwise. I choose the road from hurt to hope to healing every day."
I have heard this quote so many times. That
Yes.
is the quote that changed your life. Is that fair to say?
Yes, because that I read that and I knew that was the person that I was gonna have to see to talk about this, because if there was actually gonna be hope and this was about my choice, this was about me choosing the path to healing, then I needed to know, how do we do this then?
So you get a hold of this person. Who's this person?
Julie Clough.
Julie Clough. That's really where everything turned for you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and alongside of that, interestingly enough, because I had been watching all these summits and I had been, interacting with all these spiritual people, I met somebody by the name of Adrienne Blackwell. She's a celebrity healer, um, psychic, and she was doing a class on energy healing. Perfect. All different modalities, introducing you to a whole bunch of different things, teaching you Reiki. And then the last part of it was like a marketing piece. And I thought, cool, I'll take that too.
Give me it all.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, so really, when you're looking at it, it all really came down to I choose different.
Yeah. Like I chose the path from hurt to hope to healing. Like I wanted to go from hurting to having hope and being able to heal.
Now, 4 year, 5 years later, you've helped thousands, and I know you don't like those numbers. I could probably say tens of thousands, um, because not only do you help the person who's grieving, but you also help everybody that's around them. Because everybody around you, and I talked to many of them, say, "Man, it was so cool to see the transition that Angela went through after Blaine had passed, and how she was able to just take it and walk through that process and come out on the other side, not a different person, but a new person."
Yeah. Yeah. I think, when you strip away all of these identities that you thought you were, um, suddenly you realize that there's something underneath of there that you didn't even realize was there. And I think that's what happened was I just started to realize that there was more to life. There was more purpose there. There was more for me to do. And I suddenly had a direction.
At some point in that process of going through your grief, you decided, I need to write a book. Like, I don't have enough going on in my life. I am going to take on writing a book. When did that really hit for you? Like, when in that process? Blaine passes away October of 2021. You started writing the book when?
Um, oh boy. I want to say I started writing that book in 23. I think. Yeah.
That would make sense. That would make
Yeah.
sense.
And
Those
23.
dates. Yeah.
Because in 22, I became a grief coach and I started doing um, in 22, I started doing the grief coaching and I started the support group. And then, yeah.
I'm going to come back to the support group. So you decided you were going to write this book, and it wasn't just going to be an autobiography. It wasn't just going to be a memoir of what you went through, but you've made it into a basically a guide to for others going through what you went through to help them and let them know that no, it's not like that lady that you talked to had been 21 years and she still feels the exact same as the day her husband passed. You knew, or yeah, you knew this book was going to be able to show a different path. Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah. And I think, I wrote the book for me, um, partly because it was very healing to write my story and to put it down on paper. Partly because I got a lot of encouragement from a lot of different people to do it. And I thought if it helped one person, it'd be worth it.
100%. It's helped thousands, as we said. The book is called Awakening Through Grief. People can find it on Amazon. I know it's also on Audible, and you actually narrated the whole thing. If people want to look it up, Awakening Through Grief from Angela Clement, author extraordinaire. Also shortlisted best new book. Is it best new book?
Best
First book.
first book. Yes.
Shortlisted for the best first book for the Saskatchewan Book Awards, which is a massive honor. Hundreds of books apply, and 5 are chosen to be shortlisted. She was one of the shortlisted, which is just amazing for self-published book. The only self-published book, I might add, of the 5. Not that I'm bragging. But in that time also, you brought it up, you started your support group. Tell people about your support group and how they can reach out to you with this support group.
Yeah, the support group is really just an opportunity for people to get together, and it's not necessarily a grief group, although that's kind of how people arrive, is that they've had a loss. But basically, they're going through that spiritual awakening, that awakening through grief. And they join the group and we talk about grief, we talk about the process of grief, but we also talk about the afterlife, we talk about mediumship, we talk about all kinds of things, spiritual, everything. And it depends, who arrives. And I always say that there's no accident who arrives in that group and what they're there for.
And it's not just a grief group for people who lost their husbands or lost their
No.
wives. It's a grief group if you have lost your parents, if you have lost a child, if you have lost a dog or a pet.
Mhm.
Grief
Yes.
comes in many, many different forms. It's not just death as we know it that can cause grief either. So this group has blossomed into something different than you first anticipated. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's become a family, and the people that are there, a a core group of them have been there since the beginning, since 2021, and they're not needing grief support anymore. It's more about, the family atmosphere, and we connect with each other in a different way, and we're able to support those that are coming in that are new to the group. And there's so much wisdom there. There's people who have transformed and become mediums themselves or become authors themselves. It's amazing what the people in this group have been able to achieve, since their loss.
Well, I think it's very cool to watch because is
What
there
is that?
something on your camera?
I don't know. I'm kinda scared. Yep,
Did you?
there.
Oh, okay. Whew. I'm like, it's got to be a freaking moth or something
Yeah.
because I was thinking, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." It's an orb. Um, it was somebody's pet.
Yeah.
Blaine. Um, oh my. It's cool for me because I remember when I first met you, I guess it's been 3 years ago that I actually met you for the first time. And I remember coming into your group at one point somewhere along the road line, and I did a bunch of mini readings. And I remember seeing people then, and then I see them now, and they're so different. There's such a different personality. They're just happier. They're living life. Um, I can't recommend this, and I do. I recommend this grief group to many of my clients. Where can they reach out? How can they reach out and get put on the list to join you on this grief group?
If you go to my website, healingenergy.world, and you go to support group, you'll find a place to sign up for notifications on when those meetings are happening.
If you're watching, you can see below. You can check out Angela at healingenergy.world. That's her website. She has everything on there. Obviously, I could spend hours talking to you and talking about your story, which I do on a regular basis. Um, I want to thank you for coming on and really sharing that the important parts of the story. And I'm hoping and I know that it's touching people out there. And I want them to know that Angela's not special. She's special to me, but she went through something that a lot of people go through, whether losing a child, losing a husband, wife, a mother, a father, a brother, sister, your best friend. And I love her story because it's a story of somebody that said, screw you. No, I'm not going to feel like this for the rest of my life, and chose a different path. And if you're at that point and you want to choose a different path, please reach out. Reach out to me. You know where to get me on Kevin the Medium. I will get you in touch with her. I have inside information. Just a tad. Or go to her website, healingenergy.world. Ange, thank you so much. You're the best. Folks,
Thank you.
thank you for tuning in. This is going to become a weekly thing again. Tune in next Tuesday. I will be announcing who I will be chatting with. Same time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. You guys can figure out what it is your time. Till then, please take care.